If you're under 60, there's a good chance you've never heard these songs. And maybe you weren't supposed to. Because in 1961, these weren't just hits. They were everywhere. Then suddenly, they disappeared. No reruns, no playlists, no explanation. Just gone. But now, they're coming back. And not everyone likes it. Some say these songs deserve a second life. Others say they should have stayed buried. So before you hear them again, decide for yourself. Are you rediscovering something timeless or reopening something that was better left forgotten? Number 1. The Lion Sleeps Tonight. The Tokens.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
You've heard this your entire life, but almost nobody knows the real story. That haunting Runaway chant? It didn't start in America. It came from a completely different world and was quietly transformed into a global hit. That alone makes this song controversial, but here's what really hooks you. It doesn't follow any rules. No dramatic lyrics, no big chorus, just a hypnotic loop that somehow buries itself in your memory forever. If you were around in '61, you didn't question it, you just felt it. Late night radio, that eerie harmony filling the room. But be honest, is this a masterpiece of simplicity? Or just the strangest hit song ever to reach number 1? Because even today, people argue about it. And yet, the moment it starts, you don't skip it. Number 2. Runaway, Shannon.
And as I still walk on, I think of the things that...
This didn't sound like 1961. It sounded like the future. And heartbreak at the same time. That high, aching falsetto, it hits instantly. But then comes that strange, almost alien keyboard sound. And suddenly, you're somewhere else entirely. If you were a teenager back then, this wasn't just music. It was emotion you couldn't explain. And here's the twist. Some people thought it was too intense, too dramatic, too different.
I'm a-walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel the pain.
But that's exactly why it exploded, because it didn't feel safe. It felt real. That restless energy, that feeling of losing someone and not knowing why, it hit hard. So here's the question. Did Runaway define heartbreak for a generation? Or did it go further than people were ready for? Either way, once that intro plays, you're locked in.
To end this misery, I wonder. She took my love, then ran around.
Number 3. Runaround Sue, Dion. At first, it sounds fun, almost playful, but listen closer and something feels off. This isn't just a catchy tune, it's a warning. Dion isn't just singing, he's calling someone out. And in 1961, that kind of message got attention fast. Because suddenly, people were asking, is Sue the villain? Or is this just a guy blaming her? That tension is what made it unforgettable. You'd hear it on the radio, sing along, and then think about it later. Because everyone knew a Sue. Or maybe they were Sue. And that's where it gets interesting. Is this song honest storytelling or quiet judgment wrapped in a hit record? That debate never really ended, and that's why it still works today.
And the from the guy
Number 4. Mother-in-Law, Ernie, K-Doe. Nobody expected this to become a hit. A song openly complaining about your mother-in-law? That was risky, almost taboo. But then people heard it and couldn't stop laughing and relating. Because underneath the humor, there's truth, real tension, real frustration. And suddenly, something people never talked about openly was blasting through speakers nationwide.
Every time I open my mouth, steps and try to put.
That's what made it powerful. Some thought it was disrespectful, others thought it was hilarious, but everyone had an opinion. And that's exactly what drives a hit. Add in that irresistible New Orleans groove, and now you've got something bigger than a joke. You've got a moment. So be honest, is this just comedy or one of the boldest songs of its time? Day. Controlling.
Mother-in-law, mother-in-law. Kids in Bristol are sharp as a pistol when they do the Bristol Stomp. Really something.
Number 5. Bristol Stomp, the Dovells. This didn't just climb the charts, it took over real life. One day, hardly anyone knew the Bristol Stomp. The next, teenagers everywhere were doing it like it had always existed. That kind of explosion doesn't happen by accident. But here's the part most people never question. Was the song actually strong enough on its own? Strip away the dance, and what's left is a simple, almost repetitive rhythm. And yet, that simplicity might be the secret. It's easy, immediate, impossible to resist. If you were young in 1961, you didn't analyze it. You jumped in. School dances, basements, jukebox corners, this was the soundtrack. Some critics dismissed it as just another fad. But if it was so forgettable, why do people still remember it? So be honest, did the dance make the song, or did the song create a moment that couldn't be stopped? Number 6. Tossin and Turnin, Bobby Lewis.
I kick the blankets on the floor, turn my pillow upside down.
From the very first beat, something feels off, in a good way. It's restless, almost impatient, like the song itself can't sit still. And that's exactly the point. Tossin and Turnin isn't really about sleep, it's about obsession. That feeling when someone is stuck in your head and won't leave, no matter how hard you try. If you lived through it, you recognize it instantly. Late nights, radio low, mind racing. Bobby Lewis doesn't just sing it, he sounds like he's living it in real time.
When I was tossing and turning.
But here's what makes it fascinating. Why did something so uncomfortable become such a massive hit? Maybe because it didn't pretend everything was okay. It was raw, honest, almost anxious. Some listeners thought it was repetitive. Others felt seen. So tell the truth. Is this just catchy, or is it one of the most real songs of its era? Number 7. Quarter to 3, Gary U.S. Bonds. This song doesn't build up. It throws you straight into the middle of something wild. It feels like walking into a party that's already out of control. Noise, laughter, chaos, and somehow it all works. That's what made Quarter to 3 different. It wasn't polished or carefully arranged. It sounded alive. And in 1961, that kind of raw energy stood out immediately.
When But everybody was as happy as they could be, 'cause they were singing with my daddy G. I blow.
Some people loved that feeling, like they were part of something real. Others thought it was too loud, too messy, almost sloppy. But that tension is exactly why it stuck. Because it didn't feel manufactured. It felt like a moment captured on tape. You can almost see the crowd, feel the heat, hear the room. So here's the question. Is this musical genius hiding inside chaos, or just pure energy that somehow became unforgettable?
Let me tell you that I never had it so good. Yeah, I know you never.
You're my love, you're my angel.
Number 8. Daddy's Home, Shep and the Limelights.
For this moment, just to be by your side.
The title alone makes people pause. Daddy's Home. But who is Daddy? That mystery pulled listeners in immediately. And once the song begins, it only gets deeper. The vocals are smooth, almost comforting, but underneath there's something unresolved. This isn't just a simple love story. It's about leaving and coming back, about time passing and emotions not quite lining up anymore.
It wasn't on a Sunday.
Some listeners heard romance. Others felt something more complicated, even uneasy. And that's what gives the song its power. It doesn't explain everything. It leaves space for interpretation. If you were listening in 1961, you probably filled in the blanks yourself. That's why it stuck, because it felt personal. So what is it really? A reunion? Or a story with pieces missing that we're still trying to understand?
And wrote and told me you had teardrops in your eye.
Number 9. Apache, Jorgen Ingmann. No lyrics, no explanation, and somehow it tells a story more vividly than most songs with words. That opening guitar instantly creates a scene, wide, open, tense. You can almost picture it unfolding like a movie. But here's what surprised people back then. This wasn't an American artist. It came from Denmark. And for some listeners, that raised questions. Could someone outside the culture capture that kind of sound? The answer came quickly. Yes. Because feeling doesn't need translation. The rhythm pulls you in, the melody builds tension, and suddenly you're completely inside it. Some critics dismissed it as just an instrumental. Others recognized something bigger. So ask yourself, do songs really need lyrics to connect? Or can pure sound sometimes say even more? Number 10. Let There Be Drums, Sandy Nelson. In a time dominated by voices and lyrics, this track did something unexpected. It put the drums in charge. No storytelling, no emotional vocals, just rhythm driving everything forward. At first, that felt unusual, almost too simple. But then something happens. The beat builds, it locks in, and before you know it, you're completely hooked. That's the power of repetition when it's done right. Some listeners thought it lacked depth. Others saw it as something bold, stripping music down to its core. Because rhythm is where everything begins. If you were hearing this in 1961, it probably felt different from anything else on the radio. And different gets attention. So here's the question. Is this minimalism at its best, or just a basic idea that somehow turned into a massive hit? 11. Wooden Heart, Joe Dowell.
And if you say goodbye, then I know that I would try.
At first, it feels soft, almost fragile, a gentle melody that doesn't demand attention. But listen closer, and something deeper starts to emerge. Wooden Heart isn't just about love, it's about protection. The fear of getting hurt so badly that you shut down completely. That idea resonated more than people expected, maybe because it wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet and honest.
It was always you from the start.
Of course, comparisons to Elvis Presley followed immediately. Some listeners believed this version rode on his popularity. Others argued it stood on its own, with a different kind of sincerity. And that debate only made it more interesting, because it forced people to listen more carefully. So why did this gentle song last? Maybe because sometimes the quietest emotions are the ones that stay with you the longest.
Not made of wood, and I don't have a wooden heart. Michael rowed the boat ashore,
Number 12. Michael, the Highwayman.
Sister, help to trim the sails.
This didn't sound like a typical hit from 1961. It slowed things down. It felt reflective, almost spiritual. And in the middle of energetic pop songs, that stood out immediately. Michael has roots that go deeper than the charts. Its message carries weight. That's what drew some listeners in, but not everyone connected with it. Some thought it was too serious, too different from what they expected to hear on the radio. And yet, that difference is exactly what gave it staying power. Because it wasn't chasing trends, it was offering something meaningful. If you were listening back then, it probably felt like a pause in the noise, a moment to think. So, was it ahead of its time? Or simply out of place in a fast-moving musical world?
River is deep.
Number 13. The Mountains High, Dick and Dee Dee.
The mountains high and the valley so deep.
This song captures a feeling that's almost impossible to hold on to. First love at its peak. Everything feels perfect, intense, larger than life. The harmonies are smooth, the melodies soft, but the emotion underneath is powerful. Because deep down, there's a question hiding inside it. Can anything stay that perfect, or is it already starting to fade?
Don't you cry, don't you give up till I reach the other.
That tension gives the song its depth. It's not just about happiness, it's about how fragile that happiness really is. If you remember being young in 1961, this probably hit close to home. That overwhelming feeling, mixed with uncertainty. So what are we really hearing here? A celebration of love, or a quiet reminder that it doesn't last forever?
She went away with another guy. Now he won't even look at her.
Number 14. Hats Off to Larry, Del Shannon.
Hats off to Larry. He broke your heart.
This isn't the sound of heartbreak. It's something sharper, something more controlled. Del Shannon returns with a tone that feels almost sarcastic, almost detached. But underneath that surface, the emotion is still there. It's just hidden. That's what makes this song interesting, because breakups aren't always dramatic. Sometimes they turn into quiet observations, or even subtle revenge.
Now that Larry said goodbye to you.
Watching someone move on, pretending it doesn't matter, that feeling is all over this track. Some listeners saw confidence, others heard bitterness. And that split reaction is what made it memorable. Because it didn't tell you how to feel, it let you decide. So what is it really? Acceptance? Or something that hasn't fully healed yet?
I know this may sound strange. I want you back, I think you'll change.
Number 15. Wheels, the string-alongs. No lyrics, no big moment. Just a smooth, flowing sound that keeps moving forward. Wheels doesn't try to grab your attention. It earns it slowly. And that's what makes it different. It feels like motion, like driving with nowhere urgent to be, just letting time pass. Some people overlook songs like this because they aren't loud or dramatic. But those who connect with it remember it deeply because it creates a mood, not just a melody. In a year filled with bold, high-energy hits, this track chose a quieter path, and somehow it still made its mark. So here's the final thought. Do songs need to demand attention to be remembered, or can something subtle stay with you even longer?
Everybody was as happy as they could be, 'cause they were singing with my daddy G. I'm blowing. Let me tell you that I never had it so good. Yeah, I know you never.
Not made of wood, and I don't have a wooden heart.
Here's a rewritten ending, about 320 words, smoother and more engaging. So now you've heard them again. 15 songs that once drifted through radios, filled living rooms, and echoed across dance floors, only to slowly fade from everyday life. And yet, listening now, something feels different. They don't sound like distant memories. They don't feel locked in the past. If anything, they still resonate, still connect, still carry a kind of energy that feels unfinished, like they were never meant to disappear completely. Maybe that's the mystery of music. Some songs don't truly fade away. They simply step aside, waiting quietly for the right moment to be rediscovered. And when they return, they don't just bring nostalgia, they bring questions. Are these songs timeless classics that deserve to be heard by new generations? Or are they special only because of when and how we first experienced them? For some, these tracks are deeply personal, tied to memories of youth, freedom, and moments that can never be recreated. For others, they're just echoes of a different era, interesting but not essential. And that's where the conversation begins. Because music isn't just about charts or labels like one-hit wonder. It's about feeling, connection, the way a melody can stay with you long after it ends. So now it's your turn. Which song stayed with you the most? Which ones surprised you? And more importantly, do these songs deserve a second life in today's world? Or were they meant to remain exactly where they are, frozen in time as perfect memories? Share your thoughts below, because this isn't just a playlist, it's a debate that's far from over.
Everybody was as happy as they could be, 'cause they were singing with my daddy G. I'm blowing. Let me tell you that I never had it so good. Yeah, I know you never.
Not made of wood, and I don't have a wooden heart. I love you.